I'm just done. I'm so tired, man.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Chelsea 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. Those muggy little seagulls mugging off Chelsea yet again. Third game in a row, I believe. Of course, the Prem and the Cup last season after, this fixture was the Cole Palmer 4 goals. Since then, Fabian Herzl has got 3 wins on the trot against Enzo Maresca. But that doesn't tell the full story here. It's the second game or, weekend game in the row, Premier League game. Sorry, my brain is freaking melting. Where we get Dogzo. The Dogzo boys are out. It was Rob Sanchez against Man United away at Old Trafford. It was Trev Chalobah today, leaving us, the rest of the players in the pitch with it all to do, a man down. And, Brighton, you'll see it. I'll show it to you in a moment. It's literally we get the man sent off, and then it's all Brighton. They score 3 late goals, and it's 3-1. It's Chelsea. It's not even about Chelsea learning how to play with 10 men, because we did that well last season against Newcastle. I know we lost in the end, but it's literally like it often happens in the Premier League, unless you're a super team. But we are not a super team yet. We're still learning our way, and against a good team, any good team, which most Premier League teams are, if you go a man down, you're swear worded, yeah, you're screwed ultimately, and it happened yet again. And I have some very strong feelings on certain Chelsea players and performances as today, and we will get into it in this match review. Off the bat, bro. I mean, I do feel a bit sorry for Maresca because this keeps happening to him with his players. You know what I do feel sorry for? João Pedro. For the second game in a row, this guy has just got to run around pressing by himself up top because one of his teammates have been sent off. And he must be like, I'm good. I can score goals for Chelsea. I can assist if there's other attackers up here with me. But you, man, keep getting fucking sent off. It's infuriating. The one positive I'm taking from this game is Reece James played for like 112 minutes. Forever injured Reece James in the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years. He played for 11 minutes. He looked really good, including we all took a massive gasp in when he rolled his ankle, but he carried on playing, and right to the last, the Chelsea captain looked really good. Of course, the vice captain Enzo Fernandez, those two linked up for the goal. And Fernandez, hasn't had a great season in open play, but he's scored 3 Premier League goals, of course, all non-penalty. And it's very frustrating. We're going to take a look at this reference point SofaScore. Guys, look at left-hand side of your screen there. You see the attacking momentum meter. It's all Chelsea in the first half. Of course, Brighton enjoy a little bit of pressure in the end of the first half. But ultimately, it's Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. The second half starts. Look, you can see here, attacking momentum, yeah? The second half starts. You see the green, Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. Trev gets sent off. Game over. It's so hard to judge the manager's tactical setup because what does Maresca have to do every single midweek for a match day weekend? Does he go, right, these are the tactics and plan, and these are the tactics and plan for when one of you inevitably gets sent off because you're all knobbers. I'm not going to swear this time, because Chelsea, if we're going to start losing every week, I am not going to make this a sweary YouTube channel. I refuse to descend down to that. And I know a lot of people listen to this with their kids, so I'm going to be nice. But yeah, what's Maresca supposed to do? Plan for red cards every single... And it's not his fault. I don't think Maresca's been faultless. I'm very much, a backer of his generally. But, and I did think he went a bit chicken oriental when Sanchez got sent off in the opening seconds against Man United, and I think he overreacted and probably should have made one substitution. It probably should have been Cole Palmer because he knew he was injured and he knew it was insane weather, and instead he makes 2 and he takes off the other 2 wingers, and then Cole has to come off. That's old news, but I did think he had a bit of a wobbler there, the manager. But generally, I do have sympathy for him and João Pedro for just running around pressing by himself, and all of them. All of them, man. Let's have a look, yeah? So, Brighton set up. As you can see with Verbruggen, you can look at those players. Of course, this geezer Gomez started. I was originally scared of him because he scored 4 amazing goals midweek. But it wouldn't be until the substitute, the curse of Danny Welbeck, that comes on. I cannot wait till this man retires. He always scores against Chelsea, yeah? Welbeck always scores against Chelsea. He always does, yeah? He's like 35 or something. I'm going to look... I wish no ill against anyone. I'll congratulate him on an excellent career, but I will dance the day this man retires, because it means he won't just be popping up at different clubs scoring against Chelsea Football Club. I've just had enough of it, and I want him to stop, yeah? De Kuyper as well, scoring off the bench. Oh my word. So we started with a 4-3-3. Rob Sanchez in goal, as you can see, having another blinder with his yellow card and his 5.5 rating. Trev Chalobah next to Hatto, who was a pleasant surprise actually in the back four in terms of his performance. Cucurella and James. This is a really strong, robust, functional lineup, because you're starting with like really, really top tier defensively capable fullbacks and Cucurella and James. You've got a right footer at right centre back. You've got a left footer at left centre back in Hatto and Chalobah. You've got a really functional midfield three in Santos, Caicedo and Fernandes. Oh, what an incredible midfield three. That should be able to dominate any team. And maybe it did for the majority of the first half. You know, we were saying this last season, but the Santos role would have been done by Lavia. And then and then the front three of João Pedro, Neto, and Estevão, who had some really bright moments in the first half, the Brazilian teenager that got people off their feet. Possibly not the best decision-making in the end, in terms of like... you know, he made an amazing run, probably should have cut it back to both Fernandes and Neto that were open. He goes for goal, his eyes lit up, he's an excitable young man, he's trying to, you know, score goals at Stamford Bridge, he feels, you know, well, that's his vibe, you know, and I'm all for that. There's no criticism for Estevão really there. Let's look at, you know, the shape, shall we? So let's look at the heat maps quickly. Santos was, I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's very much a midfield three, isn't it? Fernandes, Caicedo and Santos, they're all sort of covering... No one's playing really as a number 10. You could say Fernandes slightly more free role, but ultimately it was a midfield three. And then again, similarly, Estevão, Neto, they both played both sides. Pedro Neto predominantly on the left, Estevão predominantly on the right. Pedro Neto will be all over the gaff, as suspected. More touches in midfield, not a single touch in the opposition 18-yard box, which is an absolute sickener, not his fault. And yes, so let's quickly look at the statistics. Of course, it's relevant to do it by halves, yeah, because this is where ultimately, you know, the game was lost, because it was early in the second half. It was the red card. So in the first half, we had 70% possession. Actually, on the 20th minute mark, we had 81%. So we started incredibly strong, yeah. We only created one big chance, we scored a goal, but 1.3 XG in the first half is fine. If you end the game with 2.6 XG, I'll be very happy. They only had 0.11. It was a very strong first half from us. We had 9 shots to their 3. They didn't have a shot on target, and we had a very strong first half. I feel like we didn't capitalise on what was really good. A good half from us, yeah. But I was worried because we were playing well and we only had 1 goal, because I knew this is Chelsea. The so-and-so can hit the fan, and which it did in the second half. They had the majority of possession. They had nearly 2 XG in that second half alone to our 0.26. They created 4 big chances. They were well worth their win in the end, and 9 shots. Okay, so should we talk about it? The goal was in the 24th minute. It was Reece James to Enzo Fernandez. I thought it was offside, actually, but it wasn't. It's a great goal, great build-up. And at that point, we're thinking, right, I'm not going to talk about player performances because it's unfair after... Well, I'm sorry, I am, but I'm not going to evaluate each player as I would normally over a 90-minute game where it's 11 versus 11. Because as soon as it's a man down, the whole landscape changes, yeah. But, Hatto, for the time Hatto was on the pitch, he was a surprise. Not because I don't think he's obviously clearly a massive talent. He's 19 years old. At 17, he captained Ajax, which is a big deal. His profile is highly desired. We've seen him play left back. Said many times on the channel, I thought he's been brought in for that hybrid left back role to cover Cucurella. But we saw him given a chance here at actual left back, yeah? I'm looking at, if you look at his heat map, it's very much left back. It's very much... left back and right back, him and Trev, yeah? And he looked much more comfortable, actually. He was probably a minor high point, with Reece James being the only proper high point. And then, of course, who else can I say good things about? I've said good stuff about Reece James. I feel sorry for Joao Pedro, and I feel sorry for the entire front three, almost for like different reasons. Caicedo, good. Fernandes, better. I know he's been getting goals and assists, but in the open play, better. I hope he's creeping into form. And I guess we got to talk about Santos and then Chalobah and Sanchez. First off, Santos, he's scored one goal every 3 games in the league in Ligue 1 last season. Incredible. He was in double digits for league goals. I think probably all non-penalty as well. Very good return. But he is very tenacious. He's a good defender. He snaps into tackles. He's a bit aggy, which can be good, aggressive, but it can also be bad. I think he's very poor on the goal. So Trev Chalobah, he got sold a poor ball last week for Fernandes, and then he did really badly for it. I mean, he didn't want the pass from Enzo. He dealt with it very badly. And then similarly here, Santos, he turns his back when he's got players all over him. He needs to just release the ball. He lets them go through on goal, multiple players. It's very poor hold-up play, very poor decision-making. Last gasp, trying to sort of con the ref, if anything, from Santos. Yeah, he's a young player. It will happen, whatever, but it's poor. It's a shame because up until then he was having a good game, and this a high-profile mistake. And then Trev Dogsos, he deals with it badly. It's almost like Trevo is really bad at reacting to his teammates' mistakes, which is, you can't be doing that as a centre-back. You're the last line of defence. And, people would talk, was there a slight foul on Santos? Like he thought, I don't know. Did Trevo Chalobah slightly touch the ball before he fouled the last man? But the thing is, Trev he just went off. He didn't protest much. He knew it was coming, which tells you everything you need to know. So I need to talk about Trevor a little bit, man. Look, I love the guy. He's an incredible pro in terms of training and how he holds himself, and he's dealt with so much nonsense at Chelsea in terms of they treated him really badly, and he comes in and performs and does really well. But there is something to it, man. There's something to the long-term planning of a starting centre-back partnership that doesn't involve Trevoh Chalobah, and it's just the way it is. Look, well, I think we all agree one of them is Levi Colwill, and we've felt his absence. I think at the point now, I got a lot of grief for bigging up both Colwill and Fofana, actually, but I think everyone's on board with Colwill now. And I think that, and whether you like it or not, I know lots of you disagree with me, and you're totally welcome to that. It's a game of opinions. I am a huge fan of the right-sided central defender being Wesley Fofana. I think he can make mistakes himself, but I think profile-wise, he helps the attack a lot more. I think he's a much better ball carrier. I think he's comfortable in tight spaces. I understand why the sporting directors, the hierarchy, that's the plan for, the top tier centre-back partnership. Trev's always been plug and play. I don't want to lose him, and I don't like digging him out because he's such a top boy. He is genuinely proper Chelsea, and he can often put in great performances, but, it is a run of poor games for him. It was the own goal, and then it was, the poor on the goal at Old Trafford. Now it's he doing the red card. It's poor. I'm not going to spend too long digging him out. I do love him. I don't want him to go anywhere. I never have done, and I will maintain my position now when it's not going so well for him. When it was going better for him, I said the same thing. He's never going to be in my starting centre-back for a Premier League winning Chelsea side. You could say that about other players. Well, to be honest, like Cucurella and Reece James could be. I think Colwill could be. I just don't think Chalobah can be. And we'll get to the goalkeeper in a moment. So that's just how I feel. I love Trev. I would keep him. If he's happy being in a rotational role, I think he'd benefit being in a more settled side, in front of a better keeper, in front of just a generally settled side. But at the moment, yeah, that's just how I feel. If he deserves to be a starting Premier League centre-back for a Champions League team, regardless. I want Chelsea to not just be a Champions League team. I want Chelsea to be a Champions League winning team. I want Chelsea to be a Premier League winning team. And I don't think he's of that calibre at right centre-back. I've always said it, and I've maintained my position. I'd love to keep him, and I wouldn't be at all disappointed to see him start in high-profile games in a better Chelsea side, knowing he's had to come in for that. But in terms of the final vision of Chelsea's final form, he's never been that guy for me, and that maintains the case. And then Rob Sanchez in goal is, insert your own swear word here. It's yeah. Look, I don't hate the guy. Like, he makes the odd save. He can pass. I like the way he was pulling apart Benoit Badiashile in that fight. He's like, "What are you doing? What was Benoit doing, by the way? You just come back from injury. You're getting into a fight when we're losing, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is the whole fucking team doing, man? I despair. Sanchez is not good football. He's not a good goalkeeper. I'm done. I am done. I don't think Cucurella's played very well recently as well. I'm looking at these poor red scores here. I think he got rattled against his old team. Should we look at the table for an absolute sickener? We're somehow still 7th. I don't know how that works, but we are. We're above. Oh, but there's other teams to... Okay, yeah, loads of teams to play still. Yeah, so... Oh my god. Yeah, we could be like in the bottom, well in the bottom half of the table. Could we? Yeah, I think so. Sickening stuff. Yeah, it's awful. We've got Liverpool next. Did they lose? Did they find a way? No, yeah, they lost in the end. They lost to Crystal Palace. There was a 97th minute winner against Liverpool. That's nice. I should be able to feel good about that. I reacted to the Man United loss on the second channel. I had fun at them because that's what I should do on that channel. I should enjoy my rivals losing. I'm a football fan. And I should have reacted to this, but instead I'm reacting to Chelsea just shooting themselves, I say in the foot, in the face. That's what we do. Every weekend at the moment, Dogso. Who's going to get sent off next week? Place your bets now because it's an absolute certified defo. At least Liverpool lost, my word. So at least, I don't know. Man City smashed theirs. They all got loads of wins. I think there was like a guy who scored 2 own goals against them. But who gives a so-and-so? Guys, thank you for joining me. Look, I do still want to get to 200k. Better times are coming. Like and subscribe. God help me.